Hey everyone, it's Mark. This is my recap for Pokémon Journeys episode 92, Gengar Goes All In, The Road to Gigantamax. This was the 1177th episode of the Pokemon anime and the final episode of 2021. I thought this episode was fantastic and there was even a special preview as well, so let's not waste any time and break it all down. The episode starts by recapping what happened in the previous episode and setting up that Ash and Go have come to Stow-on-Side for something. Like I predicted last week, we finally get the explanation as to why these guys went to Stow-on-Side as we see a flashback from the Cerise lab where Ash and Gengar decide they want to learn how to Gigantamax. I criticized Ash for deciding to Mega Evolve his Lucario on a whim, and I kind of feel similarly for this. Like, it's a pretty weak reason for randomly deciding to want to Gigantamax now of all times, but whatever. Professor Cerise tells them to seek out Allister, the ghost-type gym leader, and Stow-on-Side. Now, we've already seen B's gym in the stadium of this town, but it looks like Allister's gym is just this dilapidated building off to the side of the town. Ash doesn't waste any time trying to get the gym leader's attention, and remember that Allister never revealed his identity in the last episode, so they're pretty shocked to see that the guy from the ghost train appeared from a secret door. Of course, Allister being Allister, he really doesn't like having any attention on him and ends up just shutting the door on Ash when he tries to come in, which was pretty funny. He does start to open up slowly but surely though. As we head inside this rather mundane looking gym, Ash and Gengar are excited to Gigantamax while Allister just moves around like some kind of withered zombie or something like that. Allister takes them to the stadium to try out Gigantamaxing, and on the way they run into B, who I wasn't really that surprised to see in this episode if I'm being honest. I did like how Allister was even intimidated by B. You'd think he'd be close friends with the other gym leader of this town, but well, Allister is Allister. They head into the stadium and Ash attempts to Gigantamax as Gengar. It looks like this will be the same reusable animation for whenever he uses Gigantamax, which looks really cool in my opinion. My favorite part is how Ash's catchphrase seems to be "Let's get huge." I would not have predicted that, but it is so Ash. Anyways, Gengar does get huge and successfully Dynamaxes, but not Gigantamax. Gengar is pretty sad to find out that it's impossible for it to Gigantamax without the Gigantamax factor. They didn't call it the Gigantamax factor by name, but anyways, Allister suggests that they feed Gengar Max Soup, which gives Pokemon the Gigantamax factor. They head over to the woods to look, and I was surprised how easy it was for them to find some Max Mushrooms, but Ash has to be careful not to awaken a Galarian Corsola, so he has Gengar float him over to the Max Mushrooms. Of course, Ash finds a way to awaken a Galarian Corsola by dropping his hat on one, and Go is really scared that Ash is going to get cursed again, so he chucks the Pokeball at double quick speed, catching the Ghost-type Pokemon. Allister says that they still need more Max Mushrooms in order to make Max Soup, and they find another cluster pretty easily, except they do agitate a Trevenant in the process. All they do this time is run away, leaving only one more cluster of Max Mushrooms to collect. Once again, they find the Max Mushrooms very easily, but this one is being used as a pillow by a Dracoloak and a Dreepy. The Dreepy wakes up and decides to take a nap under Ash's hat, which was cute, but when the Dracoloak wakes up and puts Grookey on its head as a substitute for Dreepy, it just gets annoyed after Grookey starts bashing it in the head with its stick. Ash offers up the Dreepy in order to calm it down, and they turn on the cartoon filter for a dramatic shot as they go to commercial break. We come back from this excessively dramatic cliffhanger to see Gengar stopping the Dracoloak in its tracks before it can drill Ash, and after it calms down, the Dracoloak decides to give over the Max Mushrooms to Ash after seeing it play nice with Dreepy. They head back to Allister's gym now that they have the ingredients ready to make Max Soup, and this is where the episode got really good in my opinion. We start with a nice character moment for Allister, who is taken aback by Ash and Go complimenting his ability to understand Ghost-type Pokemon. Allister is just shocked that other people don't find him weird, but I mean, look who he's talking to. When Ash explains that he's able to understand Pokemon by going clang and bang with them during a battle, Go just calls Ash weird, and I can't blame him. Allister decides to keep watch of the soup overnight, and am I the only one who found it supremely weird that Go just went to sleep sitting up straight like this? He could have laid out on the couch, but instead just shut his eyes and was out like a light. I think Go is pretty weird too. All of these guys are weird though, if we're being honest. Anyways, this night scene is incredible, so let's not get bogged down with the irrelevant details. Gengar is excited to have the Max Soup so he can Gigantamax, and Allister is able to understand Gengar's feelings, and he explains them verbally while we see flashbacks of Gengar being lonely before he met Ash, and now they get along great as a team. For all of the lack of screen time and cool moments that Gengar has missed out on, especially in important battles, this scene was really heartwarming and emphasized how much Gengar cared for Ash, and it was super cool to see Allister be able to talk us through all of this. Gengar shows Allister some love for this and gets so excited that it even partially knocks off Allister's mask. I was not expecting to see his face at all in the anime, so this was a fun moment as well. A really amazing scene that made me love Ash's Gengar even more. Cut to the next day, and Gengar is gulping down that max soup, and they immediately head over to the stadium to try Gigantamaxing again, and who is that in the background? That's right, Bee is back again, outside of her gym uniform for the first time, and she teases Allister by saying that she's not used to seeing him help others this much. I played this part of the episode at the top of the video. Gengar gets huge, and Gigantamaxes as Ash and Go celebrate with this weird, excited hug. These two are definitely like best friends by now. The episode ends with Ash and Go catching the train, and Allister is there to say goodbye to his new friends, as Ash thanks him for everything. They hint at meeting again sometime down the line, and do you think we ever will see Allister again? I'm giving this episode a 9 out of 10 rating. With this being the final episode of the year for Pokemon Journeys, I can tell you all that my average rating for the 42 episodes this year was a 7.1 out of 10, and that actually matches my 7.1 average that I have for this series overall. This episode gets a 9 though, and I considered rating it even higher. Like, I absolutely love this episode. I don't know if I'm just in the Christmas spirit or something like that, but this was one of my favorite Journeys episodes, I think. Should I make a top 10 list of the best Journeys episodes from this year? I do have to fill the 2-week gap before a new Journeys episode drops. Anyways, I think I explained why I like this episode so much during the highlights section, so I won't go over everything I already said. The Max Mushroom Hunt was fine, nothing that exciting, but Allister's quirky character throughout the episode was fun. I don't know about you, but Allister has never actually seemed scary to me. He's too innocent looking, even when he's trying to be creepy. The last third of this episode was near perfect. It really hammered home why this was such a great character episode for both Allister and Gengar, so there was no question for me that this episode was going to get at least a 9 rating. If I'm picking out any kind of flaws though, not that I need to be this critical, but whatever, I think that while episodes like this individually are great, it does also highlight one of Journey's flaws in my opinion, which is how something like this can come totally out of the blue with no lead up at all. Ash just deciding to try and Gigantamax's Gengar seemingly at random, like I guess they could have tried to play up more of a storyline centered around Gengar finding redemption after not performing too well in its recent battles, but instead they just plucked this Gigantamax storyline out of nowhere and got it done in just one episode. So yeah, an amazing episode, but as a series, I still have some reservations about Journeys' structure. While we're talking about the series, let's transition into talking about that special preview we saw, and I kind of expected to get another preview since we got one around this time last year, and there was definitely some exciting stuff in this one. I will say that this preview was slightly underwhelming though, but that's only because Journeys has dropped previews in the past with way more hype, like when Iris and Gary were announced, or Dawn's return, or Ash's old Pokemon returning. I just don't think what we got in this preview could really compare to those. There was still plenty of interesting stuff in this preview though, don't get me wrong. I'm probably most excited about Biff and Cassidy returning. That's something I never thought would happen. Erika showing up seems totally unnecessary, and if this somehow turns out to not be Erika, I won't be too disappointed. But I will admit that the potential for an Ashley flashback did put a smile on my face. Probably the headline coming out of this preview would be Piers and Marnie making their debuts, and I wonder what role they will play in this series. You would imagine that somewhere in this stretch of episodes we would get Ash's next World Coronation Series match, and either of these two could be feasible opponents for him. We did not see any Project Mew hype, but we did get this shot of Chloe and Eevee performing, like in a contest. I kind of thought it looked more like a showcase, but it might turn out to be neither of those. I think a lot of people are probably going to overreact to this image as if it suggests that Chloe is going to become a performer or a coordinator. I think there's like a 0% chance of that happening actually, but whatever, it looks like will be some fun Chloe and Eevee development to go along with the other Evolution sightings. The last thing worth mentioning in the special preview was actually the plot of the next episode of Journeys, which will be on January 14th. No one likes breaks, but oh well. I'm excited to see something totally different with this one. It's going to be a Ren-focused episode. Can you believe it? Basically, what I got from this preview is that Ren and his Magnemite Francois are getting the bye-bye Butterfree treatment in the next episode. Sounds ridiculous, and I can't wait to see it. Ooh, I covered a lot of ground in this review, a really exciting way to bring a close to Pokemon Journeys in 2021, another full year of the anime down, we're still waiting on a new intro. I can't believe 123 version 3 lasted the entire year, but I am certainly enjoying the wild ride that Journeys is taking us on, and I hope all of you are too. It will already be Christmas by the time I get this video posted, so Merry Christmas if you're celebrating, and if you're not, well then have a great day regardless. I got some socks and new Pokemon Snap as my Christmas gift, so you can bet I'm overjoyed. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.